or it's a phase, or you don't know what you're talking about. And it didn't matter who I had on my side, my friends, my parents, they could say, no, it's, you know, this person is definitely Max, and that didn't make any difference. And I was at the end of my rope. I was about to give up. I'd spent 2 years telling my story in every gruesome detail to 4 different psychiatrists and therapists, and I couldn't do it anymore. I said, I have had enough. And I gave up for 2 weeks. It was only 2 weeks, but it was the worst 2 weeks ever, let me tell you. And I said, no, all right, come on, it's not gonna end like this, do something. And I went on the internet looking for anything that could help me. And I came across the website for AGA. And I thought, all right, a local community, they can help me. And I called them up and I emailed, and within 2 weeks, I had spoken to Jenny, who was really great and helped me out, and 2 weeks after that, I was on hormones, I was on testosterone. I felt so much better. But that's the thing about this community, is that yes, we're people and we have shared experiences, but we also have access to shared medical treatment and understanding. And so to go these 2 years by myself and not have anything happen, and then in a matter of weeks to access everything that changed my life was really amazing for me. And I still don't know where I would be without that. But more than that is just being able to meet up with some of the lovely people in the community that I've met for coffee, and to say something like, God, toilets are terrifying. And to have them go, I know, right?
I have a bit of a mutual thing going on, because Max was the first young person that I worked with in the official capacity as a psychologist working with AGA when we started our low-cost service 2 years ago. And the first young person who's got a really good brain is always a little bit daunting. But listening to Max's story and watching Max be there going, I know this is going to get better, in the face of the most appalling treatment, some by people locally, some by someone I have worked with and know, and I'm just mortified to think that someone I actually valued and trusted could put a young person through what Max has been through. And some people I don't know, but it just, on the spot, I gritted my teeth and said, this is going to be okay, Max, we're going to make this happen. I'm not sure what we're going to have to do, but it's going to be all right. And so now Max and I share an office, and it's really lovely. So now we get to a really interesting part of the evening, which is I'd like to introduce Dr. Helen Watchers, who's the ACT Human Rights and Discrimination Commissioner. And she's going to talk to you about these 2 items. I'm not going to preempt them in any way. I'm just going to let Helen talk about them. And then I'll talk to you a bit about why we're so excited about them.
Thanks so much, Jenny. And I only realised tonight that you're the mother of Heidi. So.
Yes, that's one of my other claims to fame.
I'd also like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land which we meet, the Ngunnawal people, and pay my respects to their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the city of Canberra and the ACT region. I'd really like to acknowledge the work of Peter Hindor with Agenda and the whole community here tonight. It was May last year, I think, when we launched your survey at your new place, and it's just great to have a space that's yours and home for everyone. This day of celebration is really special for the Commission as well as Agenda. We are launching 2 things. One is a brochure called Gender Identity Discrimination, and the artwork is by Cam Michael. Is Cam here? Or?
Yes, Cam.
Oh, right. Hi. And a trifold card for people to take to services. It's kind of a give this card to people when they're giving you trouble, but they're also empowering internally, not just to be given away. I'd like to acknowledge the work of staff at the Commission, Belinda Barnard, who's here tonight with her 2 children, and Gabrielle McKinnon, unfortunately, who couldn't make it tonight, and was a school friend of Peter. What a small world from Sydney. So our brochure, it's got information for the gender diverse, trans and intersex people about rights under the Discrimination Act 1991. It's got case studies in it about real stories and how to make a complaint to the Commission. And I'm here tonight to really welcome you to the Commission and just feel that the door is open, and we'll listen and do what we can. The wording in the Discrimination Act was changed in 2010 from transgender to gender identity. And it's not perfect, and the Law Reform Advisory Council and the Commission are committed to convincing the attorney. I don't think it'll take much to get beyond the binary concept. So it says identification on a genuine basis by a person of one sex or indeterminate sex as a member of the other sex by assuming characteristics of that sex or living as a member of that sex. So I do apologise for the binary. We've been re-educated by participating in the LRAC Beyond the Binary work and meeting the community last year. And Peter, I think I met you, was it 2009, Sex Files? Yep. But I can reassure you, because we've got a Human Rights Act, this legislative definition can be read broadly because of the right to equality. So the wording's not perfect, but certainly we read it as being beyond the binary. The Commission's a public authority, so we're bound by the human rights to do that. The trifold card is meant to be kept in your My Rights to Equality for put in your wallet or pocket, like a condom for my HIV/AIDS. So what it's really designed is, if you face discrimination, such as change rooms or toilets, and Romana, it's nice to meet you and the ladies tonight. There is still prejudice in the community, but I feel like it's more ignorance than being nasty. Certainly in the cases we've seen, because they've all resolved, in my view, successfully. If there aren't any, then please tell me about them. There's no law that actually makes it illegal for you to go to a particular toilet or change room, or that it has to be unisex. It's really up to you, and that's what we're here for, to enforce that. So the trifold card speaks powerfully in the first person, and if you don't mind me reading, it's got, I have the same rights to use your facilities as other members of the public do. This includes access to change rooms and toilets. I am the most appropriate person to decide which toilets or change rooms to use. There is no law that prevents me from using the toilet or change room of my choice. It may be unlawful for you to stop me, and if you're doing so because of my gender identity or presentation. So, read that internally. And what I like most about the trifold card and the pamphlet, it's done in a partnership with Agenda and the Commission, and I have to say we've been led to it, so really thank you for building that bridge. I hope it's useful. I hope it's going to remedy misconceptions in the community. We need to re-educate the community. Everyone deserves to have their rights and equality respected, the right to be who you are, to express the gender identity that's really true to you, and it's just a fundamental human right and it can't be taken away. So our door is open, and thanks for inviting me here, and we have copies galore here. Take it as many as you like. We can always do another print run. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Helen, and thank you for taking time out of your Friday evening to come and share in this event with us. And thank you so much for the work that the Commission's done with Agenda to produce these two really, really useful pieces of paper or cardboard. I'm particularly struck by this one. I remember quite a few years ago when, yes, my daughter Heidi, who most people in Canberra seem to know, was saying to me, Mum, it'd be really great because I just retired, and she was saying if you could work with AGA because it would be really good if they had a trans-friendly site and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't really know very much at all about trans issues. So I was doing my homework and reading up, and I was in Target in a queue at a really busy time. And I noticed that the person in the queue, about 4 or 5 in front of me, and it loops around so you get to be quite close to the person 4 or 5 in front of you, was steadfastly fixed on the floor, their eyes on the floor, and they seemed to me like they might be a trans person. And I thought, I bet you've just had a really hard time in the Target clothing section. And so I made every effort. You know how if you stare at someone enough, they'll actually look up and make eye contact with you, because that's what we do as human beings. We can feel when someone's giving you that stare, and I really wanted to have a positive interaction with that person and go, it's so great that you're in Target and I'm really happy that you're shopping here and I hope that your experience has been okay. That person did not lift their eyes for the entire time until they got out of the store. They bought what they had in their hand and went out of the store. And it really touched me in a really deep way. And I just think that for people to be able to pull out a card like this and say, you know, actually you might not be aware, but I actually have a right to use your change rooms, and I actually also have a right to bring back something that I have bought if it doesn't fit me, in a really non-confrontational and really educative way, because as Helen said, a lot of this stuff doesn't happen because people have bad intent. It happens because people just don't know about it. Until we wrap more and more words around the transgender and intersex experience, it's going to remain invisible. So that's our job of everybody in the room, is to keep putting words around what is currently invisible until it becomes so visible that everybody goes, oh yeah, so yeah, okay, so you used to be a girl and now you're a guy, that's fine. Or you used to be a guy and now you're a girl, and that's just part of the natural order of things. So,
yes.
So I think that's the end of the formalities, and I think that the choir are actually going to sing for us again if they haven't melted.